Hey guys, so here I am today. I have a little, I'm kind of I'm making a pumpkin crate, okay? And I'm doing this out of necessity. We planted some pumpkins in the backyard. I have Jack B. Littles and I have some other type of pumpkin, a larger pumpkin. And in thinning these out, I don't we've become kind of attached to them and they're really pretty plants. I hate to just throw the plants away that I'm thinning out. So planted three different little mounds of each variety and we have three little mounds of each variety coming in. So what we want to do is transplant one of the Jack B. Littles. They're these cute little tiny pumpkins. And so I didn't want to buy a container. I just kind of wanted to see if I had anything at home that I could use to plant them in. I'm going to put it up on my deck and see how it does. I don't even know if it's going to grow. But so these are two wine crates that I had. Obviously, they're really worn. And so I want to paint these up. My husband took the bottom off of one and attached them together for me. And so now I think you're supposed to plant in like a 10-gallon container, these pumpkins, so they really grow. And this is about the biggest thing that I've got. I bought something else and I don't think it's going to work out. So it's just one of those paper bags that, those growing bags that you can do. And I realized that it's more of a decorating thing. Like it's pretty, but it's not really going to work. So anyway, this is a zero cost project here. I'm using house paint that I have, and this is, I have some Zinsser here that I'm going to use. This is a primer. The reason I'm using primer is that I want to paint this, and if I'm going to take the time to do it, you can tell this thing is really stained up and got some serious wear in the nails, the rust. I don't want that stuff to come through. So I'm going to give two good coats of Zinsser on here. Then I'm going to paint it and, really decorate this up, make it look real cute. And plans are that we'll see how it does. And if it weathers through the pumpkin season, then I'd like to bring it in and maybe, put some faux pumpkins in it by the fireplace or something like that. So anyways, this is why I'm taking the time to do the Zinsser on this. And so that's what I'm gonna just slap some of this on here, two coats, and then use my other paint. This is just a chip brush. This is a really rough, project. So we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so I'm finishing up my second coat of Zinsser on this crate, and this is just precautionary so that my pretty design will last, and I'm hoping to bring this crate in and use it in the fall for decorating by my fireplace. So this is runny and messy and nothing too exciting to look at, but it's my second coat. And I'm in a time crunch because my husband is ready to rip those pumpkins out of the garden. And if I don't get this thing done, then my pumpkins are going in the plants are going in the trash. So so I got to get this done. So I'm kind of slapping this on, and so that's going to be it. It's going to dry, and then we're going to go put the pretty, the top coat, do the pretty stuff and all the fun stuff. Okay, so I have my 2 coats of Zinsser on my crate, and I grabbed this paint from the basement. Again, I want this to be a $0 project. So these were from the garage. They've been used for planting. We planted green onions in them, and they were the cutest little garden. If you ever wanted to do something like that, green onions grow great in here. And so anyway, went to the basement. This is just a paint. We're thinking that this is like the color of our basement floor, and it looks a lot like I don't know what this paint is really. I think it's from the floor, which my husband said would be great because it would even do better in the rain. It was a 1-coat Sherwin-Williams, if that's what it is. But I just like the color, and I like that I didn't have to go spend any money on it. This looks a lot like Annie Sloan chalk paint in the old Ochre. I love that color. I use it all the time. But for the durability, and I am going for this. And this does look like our basement floor. And so I'm going to use this. So my crate has dried overnight, and this is 1 coat of that paint. It's like, I think we decided that this is the basement. This is the color that we used on our basement floor. And so anyways, it wears pretty well. It's going to be outside, and it's going to get distressed, and that's what I want. So the coverage isn't complete, but it's pretty close. 1 coat. And remember, I did that Zinsser underneath, so I'm hoping that it's going to cover any rust, from the nails and all the wear that this poor old thing has seen. So what I've got in mind is stamping some design on here. And I have 2 stamp sets from Iron Orchid Designs that I plan on using. We have this one, which is called, this is Typesetting. Okay, so this is my letters. And then I've got this stamp set, which is called Fruitful Harvest. And it's really, really pretty. There's 2 pumpkins in here and a bunch of leaves and some acorns. And then this page, there's a second sheet in here that has fall, leaves, some ivy, apples, some wheat, and I'm not sure, this could be a peach. I'm not sure about that one. But anyways, these are the 2 stamp sets that I'm planning on using on this crate. The apples are lovely. Love those. Love the fall leaves. But what I was thinking, because this is going to have pumpkins in it, either this large pumpkin or this cute little one. This particular crate is going to have Jack B. Little pumpkins, which are the minis. I love, but I'm thinking more about this large one. for this to fill up the space. And so here's my large pumpkin that I'm thinking about. And then I pulled out the letters for the word pumpkins. And these letters are like a silicone, these stamps. They're really great. I love iron orchid designs. I do not sell this stuff. I just am a hobbyist, and so I can't say enough good about this stuff. And so what you do is you lay out your design, and these are real flexible. They're easy to wash, and lay out your design. And then I have the word heirloom here. So I was thinking heirloom pumpkins. So I just need to do a little adjusting. And this crate is so big. I had it up on the table. I had to bring it down on the floor. So I'm going to lay this out. I'm going to have to stand up. You guys might see. I'm not sure if this is centered right now. I kind of need to stand up to see if it's centered. Then I have these acetate sheets, and I'm going to show you how to use that. So I'm going to get this pumpkin out of here for a minute. And well, I didn't do too bad for sitting on the floor. Okay, so then what you do with these sheets is it's acetate, and this picks up all your letters so that you can roll your paint on or your ink, and it's all laid out for you. So those are so helpful. And then the plan is to have my pumpkin right in the middle, and it looks like it's going to fit about as good as it's going to fit. Those letters go all the way to the bottom and all the way to the top of my crate. So I'm going to get out my paints, and we're going to get to stamping this. Okay, so I'm using my Sloan chalk paint in Chateau gray for this little sign. Just going to put a little bit. I've got a piece of parchment paper down, and I am just going to use my brayer, and we're going to ink this up and get the paint on here in a nice even coat. And I'm going to stamp Okay, so I've got the word pumpkins inked up, and I'm going to carefully lift this. Okay, so I'm just going to center this side to side and lay it down, and once it's laid down, that's it. I'm going to do my heirloom. Same way. Try not to make too big of a mess on the sheet on the bottom, that acetate, so that I don't have mess everywhere. Okay, now I'm centering this side to side and above the word pumpkins. And again, straight up and down, and holding it down so that I don't smear it. And pulling it straight up. Oh my gosh. Okay, now all I have left to do is roll my pumpkin. And this one I'm just gonna roll it, and I'm not gonna stick this on anything. I'm just gonna hold it in my hand. Okay, so this is our pumpkin. And like I said, I'm just going to hold this in my hand, and I'm just going to lay it right down. Okay, so I'm just laying this down. This one is a little bit more tricky, but I'm just going to make sure that I don't smear my pumpkin by moving it side to side. Okay. And then straight up. Oh my gosh. It actually turned out, you guys. So I'm just going to let this dry, and I have something else planned for the other side. So as soon as this is dry, then we're going to do something different on the other side. Okay guys, so I really love this design, and so I just got out some drop cloth, and I cut it to a size to stamp and make a pillow. So we're going to stamp on drop cloth the same exact way, using the same paint and everything. And I'm doing the word pumpkins first. And I'm just gonna, this is a little bit bigger than the crate. It's gonna go on a big 24-inch IKEA down pillow, are the pillows that I like to use. And then pulling straight up. Okay, so I'm going to do the word heirloom. Okay, that's a little bit lighter, but that's okay. I don't mind. So I'm going to see if I can fix this and make it a little darker. And this is really crazy, but I'm just going to try. Well, what do you know about that? It doesn't look too bad. I think when it's put together in a you know, made into a pillow. I think it looks really nice. I don't know. What do you guys think? So that is just making use of my stamps being dirty and my brayer and everything and the paint that's out. I really like this design, and so we'll have to see how this goes. And we may add a little something to this. Let's see. So I've got my scrap wood and my parchment paper, my brayer, and this is going to be the paint for our stamps. And you saw me do this on the other side. And we're doing the same thing. I did already put my stamps together on a clear sheet of acetate. And I've got my letters. And I am going to ink these up. Alrighty. I just want you to see what I'm doing. And so we're just going to turn this over. Okay, and then we're going to pull straight up. Okay. I want to show you this other stamp set I'm using called Rose Toile, and this is from Iron Orchid Designs, and this is really pretty. So the plan is to use this piece of toile on here. Okay, so I've got my stamp inked up in the same color, and I am drop that on there. Okay, so there is the front, Spice Cake Coffee Company. The plan is to use this by my fireplace, and I have a lot of mustard fall decor, so I'm really excited about this. I just want to fill in this little space right here so that it kind of has a little flare out. I don't like that it's empty, and so what I've decided is this piece right here, this big one is what I used, but this little corner of this piece, I think I'm just going to fill that in right there, and then I might use it to flare out a little bit over on the bottom too. So I'm just going to ink up that little corner of this one thing and just hold it in my hand and do that. So that gives me a little something else up there, and I want to do the same thing on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, so now I am done with the front. We're going to go back to the side. Okay, so I am using one more stamp set because I just can't, I just have to have the perfect thing on here. So this is called Queen Bee, and it is a beautiful stamp set. And it's got all kinds of stuff, and there's a couple of crest label type stamps that look like they were actually on a wine crate that I have here that I can show you, and this label looks just like it. So that's what I'm using, and then I have a year, a special year stamped on there. Before I get into my paint, let me grab this crate to show you. So this is my actual wine crate, and this is what these crates looked like when they were new, and my husband brought these home for me one day. He brings me lots of lovely gifts, and so anyways, the stamp is very similar. So this is what the crate had on it, and there's a year, so that's why I'm going with a year. This was the year, must have been, that the wine was made and where it came from, and the other end is just plain. And then the side has this little branded whatever on there. So anyways, that's how I chose that. And so I'm going to ink this up and stamp it on here. There's a little bit of extra paint in there, so I'm just going to stamp that off just on a piece of scrap paper a little bit. These stamps, you want enough ink, but not too much. And if it smears a little, that's okay. Okay, and then straight up. And I love it. It's smeared a little bit, and I love it. So that's that. And now we're going to do here. You know, these things aren't supposed to be perfect, and this is just a fun Again, a project that came out of necessity, and I was outside. I was pulling weeds before I did this, so there you go. So there is the end of our crate. I'm going to wait for this to dry and do the same thing to the other end, and then I will, this is going outside like today, so I hope that it's going to be dry enough to weather, you know, stand up to the weather, and then I'll have to show it to you. I'm also going to try stamping a piece of drop cloth pillow and see if I can get those done to show you as well. Doing basically the same design. I have that green heirloom pumpkins. Remember, we did this other side together, and I'm not sure if you can see that real good, but that side I have a pillow just like it, and I'm going to do the same exact sort of design. While my stamps are wet, I'm going to try stamping this drop cloth, which I'm going to just lay it on the floor and do that. So I'll show you these pillows in a little bit, and this crate all done up outside. So this is staying, it's not sliding around on the drop cloth as much as when it was on the paint. Okay, I'm going to grab my pencil. Hold on a minute. Okay, so I'm working on my piece of drop cloth for a pillow, and what I did was this is my parchment paper that I'm using to roll my paint on, and I want to stamp some pretty flowers on here, so I decided to kind of mask this off using the parchment paper, and I'm going to be using this flower here, little bouquet or whatever, and so the flowers are inked and they'll stop obviously where the parchment paper is, and then I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing down here on the bottom. So that's the plan, and it's just a little tricky to see what I've got planned here. So I'm going to line up my stamp with my design, and I don't know if this is going to turn out, you guys, but let's see. Okay, I think what happened was my paint dried, so I am gonna do the bottom half the same way and see how it looks. Doing the same thing here. So there, it pulled up the parchment paper, and you can kind of see what I was going for here. And I think it worked really nice on the bottom. I'm going to see if I can fix this. If not, I might just make another one because this is a square of drop cloth. I could try stamping on the back, but I think I'm going to see if I can fix that. Okay, so I just reset this up. I re-inked my stamp, sort of haphazardly put this together, and I want to show you, and if it turns out great. If not, then I'm just, like I said before, I will do another one. And okay, I have an audience, and they are approving here in my room with me today. And so anyways, you guys, sometimes things are fixable, sometimes you just gotta chalk it up as anyways. So this, I'm gonna turn this into a pillow. I love that, and I don't know what you guys think, but to me, this is really pretty, and I hope that this works. I did not put any textile medium or anything in this paint. These pillow covers will have zippers. They will be able to be washed, but they're not something that I'm going to be washing like every other day. Usually the decorative pillows, you know, they're on the furniture, and for looks, we do use them, and I do wash them, but you know, they're not like something you're going to be washing every day. So I think it should be okay. I'm going to heat set these, make them into pillows, and I'll show you when I get done. So as you can see, I've got my faux pumpkins in here. This is going to be staying in the house. Pumpkins are all going to stay outside as a happy family. We're not getting rid of anybody. They're all staying. And I love this crate so much. And you guys followed along, and our pillow turned out really lovely as well, and very simple to make. If you guys are interested in a tutorial on how to do this, I can give you a quick little how-to video on how I make my pillows. I make all my pillows, and I've got them all over the place. So for those of you that did hang on this long, I put a little something on the back of here for you. This is the same stamps that I used on the ends of my crate. I put on the back of the pillow just for you guys. And I have a pumpkin spice mulled spiced cider candle going for you. It smells so fall in here. I also want to let you know that Amazon has pumpkin spiced coffee available, and we ordered a 96 count box, and it arrived the same day. So that was really exciting, and thanks so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, come back and check me out, see what I've got going on, and thanks so much, you guys. I'm going to show you my pumpkin patch, and thanks so much. Take care. So as you can see, I've decided to keep the little pumpkins out here, and we've got Cinderellas growing on this end, and we've got the Jack B. Littles on the other end, and we decided that they're going to stay, and some of these shrubs are getting moved back into their original home after another project in the front got finished. And here's my flowers. We've got lots of pumpkin flowers, and hoping that we get some pumpkins out of all this. So as they get more, as they continue to grow, we probably will decide what to do then. But for now, everybody's just gonna live here and hang out together happily ever after. And ooh, there's another little that'll be another video, but there's a little cutie right there that you can see, and that's one of my husband's little craft projects. I've had that for quite a number of years, and yeah. So anywho, I just had to give you a little update on how the pumpkin patch is doing. It's doing very well. And yeah, like I said, some of these shrubs are moving, and they'll have a little bit more room to grow and ripen and grow. We don't really have any pumpkins yet per se, but lots of flowers, lots going on, and vines, and things are starting to grow out of the little designated space. But there they lived happily ever after.